That's like that one sentence.
They're right next to me.
See you guys.
Yep, see you.
What?
No.
Thank you all for coming. This is our last day for many of us. Some of us are still going to get ready for sectionals for next week. But for the whole team, it's going to be our last day together. It seems like we just got started. But thank you for everybody for showing up. It's nice to see some moms and dads and grandparents here. I've got quite a few thank yous because I really couldn't do this for the team without a lot of help from a lot of different people, and I hope I don't forget anybody. I first want to thank the parents, of course, of all the seniors for taking care of this dinner tonight. Actually, I think a big round of applause for Nicole Rabideau. A special thank you to Nicole because I kind of messed up, but she got all the pizza for us and the wings and everything. So, but I know a lot of the other parents helped out with that, so we appreciate all the help. And then Mary decorating everything and the parents helping with that. We're very thankful to have a nice senior night for our seniors. They put a lot of time in their careers in golf, and it's a good way to celebrate that as a whole team. So thank you to Nicole and everyone. Also, Coach Gay, I mentioned earlier, but not just for setting up everything today, but we worked together really well. I did this by myself for a lot of years, like about a decade, and it was really, really hard. And I didn't realize how hard until Mrs. Gay joined the coaching staff, and everything became so much better. More kids get helped. When I go off to a match away, we used to have to cancel practice. Now we still have practice every day because Mary takes practice. So just everything runs a lot smoothly. She reminds me about things that I got to do, and she's always playing games with the kids, the younger kids, not all just the younger kids, but the older kids, and buys a lot of stuff out of her own pocket, even though I tell her not to. And the kids get lots of extra fun out of practice because of the things she does. And because, we all want to get better, but we also want to have a good time. Mrs. Gay and I agree on that, so she does a really good job of making our practice fun. So I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. So a round of applause for Coach Gay. We have a little something for Coach Gay from the boys, including me.
Carter, where did they go?
I'm the organizer of the team.
Carter. This game got you card to it.
I'd also like to recognize, he couldn't stay, he had to get going, but Nick Trombley was just here, he played in the tournament with us. He's a teacher at school and he got board approval to help out, but he just volunteers his time. He was only able to come once a week, but for once a week we had 3 coaches on the staff, which is even better because when everybody's here we have 27 players. So having a 3rd coach every once in a while was a huge help. So when you guys see Mr. Trombley at school, make sure you thank him. We did give him a gift, by the way, the players, and we gave him something. So, but when you see him at school, just say thank you to him, okay? Also, Julie Rao, we want to thank Julie. Julie volunteered her time to take a bunch of great pictures. She came. She has a lot on her schedule, but she fit us in on a day and it was not very nice weather, but she took some awesome pictures. one right in the middle that I thought was hilarious. That's one of my favorite pictures ever. I think Nathan still has some bruised ribs from that picture. But that Julie does whatever she can, not just for our team, but all the Northeastern kids. So let's give her a round of applause. Then also, just real quickly, Mrs. Dumas, Carol Dumas, she also volunteers her time because she has a regular bus run, and we just kind of have this nice agreement where she, it's not always her, sometimes it's another bus driver, but somebody from the bus staff just gets our kids over to from the school to here, which I know doesn't seem like it's that far, but they take an extra, they have another run and they're doing something a little extra just to help out the golf team. And so we appreciate that. And then, yeah. And then Mr. Supernaut and Mrs. Patno, they aren't here, but they do a lot of behind the scenes things, like getting us vans and just supporting our program. I asked the school to pay for a couple of our tournaments and things, and Mr. Supernaut and Mrs. Patno helped make that happen as athletic directors. So they've been really big supporters of the golf program too. And then the parents that are here, the grandparents, okay, just these kids are really great kids, and that's, it's because of you. So Mary and I just want to thank the parents for, I have 4 kids and they're all in sports, and it's a big sacrifice to bring your kids there in time, or then it's lightning, you gotta sometimes leave work maybe or something, pick up your kid and everything, but we appreciate everything, and I hope all of you guys as players are grateful for your parents or your grandparents or wherever helps you out, and you say an extra thank you to them tonight, because that's very important to recognize that, okay?
Thank you, Grandma.
So thank you, parents and grandparents. Andy, Leanne, and the golf course, they have a lot of members here that want to go play, and then Andy always makes sure we have holes to play on. And he tells the adults or whatever, like, listen, the golf team has, the front 9, and he makes sure that we can play here, and he likes the kids here. And he always encourages and reminds me, like, hey, tell your parents, tell the kids that anytime they want to go golfing at this golf course or hit range balls, they are always welcome. The only time he can't is if there's like a golf tournament here. So just, call before you head here, but this place loves kids. They want kids to play here. I'll be running a junior golf program or 2 this summer, so I'll be texting you guys to come play. But you can get dropped off just about any day of the week, every day I hope, and play some golf. So this is Leanne. Give her a round of applause. I believe, if you come up here and you just hit range balls, they let you take a bucket of balls for free. I mean, not all golf courses are nice to kids like here. So, but what is disappointing a little bit is that I'm here almost every day during the summer, and there's a lot of you that I don't see here. If you have a membership, okay, this is a great place to hang out, and it's better than being on your phone at home. So get up here to this golf course almost every day, if you can. I know some of you have jobs and other things, but get up here and play. There's no excuse like, oh, the manager doesn't like me, or they won't let me out. I know that's not true. Everybody can play anytime. They like you here, so there's no excuse. Get up here and play some golf, okay? Or hit some range balls at least, okay? I think that's maybe all my thank yous. I hope I covered everybody or didn't miss anybody.
Thank you,
And also the summer golf tournament. Last year, a lot of you in this room helped with the summer golf tournament, and I just don't get a chance to thank some of you. Some of you made baskets that we raffled off. Some of you were actually at the event volunteering, okay? Mrs. Gay and I choose to, instead of selling candles and then doing pizza and all this other stuff, we run a tournament during the off season, and we don't make anybody help, but we encourage everybody from the team or their families or friends to try to at least, either play, donate something, and get involved. And that's all we do for a fundraiser, and that's what bought all our uniforms, all the golf balls, everything that we have, because the school does not buy those things for the kids. Mrs. Gay and I buy these things for our golf program funds itself. And we do it with that golf tournament, and that's it. Okay? So I just want to bring that up, to thank everybody that helped last year, and I hope you will help again. Even you seniors, I hope you'll still, get involved and at least get a team in maybe and play, because it's a fun day, and we raise a lot of money that we use, that you're going to end up getting back when you play in teams. Okay. All right. So we started the year off making some goals. Mrs. Gay, actually, I have to give credit for. She went to every player on the team, all 27, and we got goals from you. It's very important to have a very specific goal and something that you can, that's not too hard to reach for and you can actually accomplish, okay? And every single one of you came up with a goal, and some of you it was, I want to shoot in 30s, which is a very advanced goal. Some of you are just maybe starting golfing and you were like, I just want to try to get my first bogey on the hole, okay? And that's okay, because we have a lot of different ability levels, but the main thing is you all came up with a goal and then you were trying to work at that all year, okay? I think that's not just a golf thing. You should think about that in almost anything you do. Other sports, your school, when you get out of school and you're like focused on your career, you got to have something in your head, or else you're just wandering around, okay? And that's why Mrs. Gay are trying to get you in that habit as your coaches, to have a goal and then work toward reaching that goal. And even if you don't get to it, at least you're progressing toward it. And I can honestly say, I was looking through the list, and many of you have reached that goal from March, or you've exceeded it, or you're very close, and you're very close to reaching that goal. And you have this summer to continue that progress, okay? So remember, goal setting is always important, and when you reach that goal, like some of you, when you get that, okay, I wanted to break 45. Well, okay, now you set a new goal. I want to break 42 now, not 45, okay? So just keep that goal setting all the way through your career and after golf too. Let's see. I want to try to mention every player because I know some families are here, and I really tried hard to talk about, and sometimes I'm going to talk about it in groups. The first group I want to talk about is our first years, which I'm extremely excited. I think it's probably the most first years we've had. And not only are they first years, but it's a lot of 7th graders. I can't remember, I think the last time I had this many 7th graders was this senior group that's graduating right now, where I have 4 out of my 6 starters are seniors. And I can remember thinking there was like 7 or 8 of them. I think there were 6 or 7 of them, and thinking, wow, that's a really nice group of 7th graders. And I just want to say good job to, let's see, I've got Brentley, Gage, Hayden, Colin, Jackson, Caden, Henry, Callan, and Owen are our first year golfers. So that's 9 new players that joined the team in March. A lot of the different ability levels in there. A couple of those players right in their first year were getting close to like qualifying for the starting lineup. Like Gage got very close to being in the starting lineup this year. Okay, so that's exciting. And then a lot of you 7th graders hit the ball very well. Your size isn't there yet, but I keep reminding you, to not compare yourself to these guys that are almost 6 feet tall. They started out just like you, and they were shooting the same as you, or they might have even not been shooting as well as you. But now, they're seniors, and if you get those good habits and you keep them up like you're doing now, the growth will come and your strength will come, and the ball will start just going further. Okay? But right now, you want to keep working on that short game, which all of you can do, and you're pretty good at it already. You get really strong at the game around the green, and then when you get the distance, you're going to have that foundation of being able to chip and putt and hit those shots inside 100 yards, and then you guys are going to be really tough to beat. But I can see a really, really good foundation for the golf program in that group of kids right there. So we're excited, Mrs. Gay and I, to seeing what they're going to do even next year in 8th grade and in 9th grade. So the next group of players I'd like to discuss are the players who've been on the team maybe a couple years or 2 or 3 years. Rylan, Aubrey, Isaac, Caden, Cooper, Evan, Nathan, and Gavin. Okay? And all these players have been on the team now for more than just the 1 year, and they've shown some promise, and they've gotten better. Okay? Some of them getting some bogeys on some holes. Okay, which is a big accomplishment. When you've only been playing golf for a couple of years, to get a bogey or a 5 on a par 4 from the weight tees, that's really good. And some of those players are already doing that. Not on all the holes, but they're doing it on some of the holes. And hopefully, as they play more, we're looking for them to do that more and more often on the balls. There was a few players in the team who shot low enough scores to be part of qualifying for the starting lineup. So like these are kids that, okay, now we're going to count your scores and we're going to put them in the book because you're maybe getting closer to 6 on every hole or like mid 50s, high 50s, you know. And then we started like, all right, let's count your score and see what you can do for qualifying, okay? And that was Josh, Scott, and Caden. They all played well enough to get into some qualifiers this season, so they're getting close. But they know they need to just work. Caden, you're playing 7th grade. Josh and Scott, you know you just have to practice this summer because you're close to being where you need to be, but you've got to put the time in over the summer to really get to get there. Then we've got the top 8, which is the lowest scoring players on our team that would come to matches. So we'll have 6 people actually in an official match, and then the 7th and 8th ranked player will play again at a scrimmage or an exhibition against the 7th and 8th player from another team. So it's kind of a nice privilege to get in that top 8 because you start traveling, going to away matches, and playing against other teams. Let's see, we've got, in that group, we've got Kevin, Max, Carter, Ashton, Seth, Logan, and then Regan and Gage. You know, Regan and Gage just being a 7th and 8th grader who are getting to travel quite a bit this year. So looking forward to seeing what they can do. Kevin and Seth are going to come back next year too. So if the rest of the team is listening, I hope you are, that means it's wide open for next year, like who will be starting. There is nothing guaranteed on this team anyway. You have to play your way into the lineup. But when I say play over the summer and get it, that's up to you. We're not going to have organized practice every day, but there's literally open starting spots because of all the great seniors that are about to graduate. And if you want to get it, you got to go get it. It's simple as that. And golf, the scorecard, doesn't lie. So like if you practice a lot and you play a lot, your scores get lower and lower, and before you know it, you're where you want to be. But if you don't touch a club most of the summer, it's not going to change much from what you are playing now, okay? Highlights from the group. Okay, so we're going to go just through real quickly through some of the players that played in some competition. So in the first year on the team, Gage played very solid. He was a nice surprise for the year. He started the year on a good note, coming into the simulator, the indoor simulator to hit golf balls even on days we didn't have practice. I had a few kids who did that. He had a low score of 46 and finished in the 7th position, which is very impressive considering he's only 7th grader. I am hopeful Gage continues this hard work into the off-season because we'll need him to be a strong starter next year. In just the second year on the team, Regan also did really well. He had a low score of 51 and he competed in quite a few scrimmages. I think Regan is improving so much because he plays even a lot on days when he doesn't have practice. And so I don't think it's a coincidence. Regan was one of the people last year in 7th grade who was in this room, and I said that same thing to, and he played quite a bit, and now he's 8th ranked on the team. So like I said, the scorecard doesn't lie. If you play a lot, you'll get to where you want to be. If you don't play a lot, you won't get to where you want to be. Okay, simple as that. So I hope Gage and Regan, we need you guys to keep working hard because we're hoping for you guys to be starters next year. But again, nothing's guaranteed there, so you've got to put the time in. Ashton had an injury in his wrist that needed surgery, so he had to miss the first few weeks of the season. Nothing under his control. To be honest, if I'm being really honest, I did not think Ashton would have a chance to compete because it's just really hard to miss almost all the practices. And it was just a little while ago that he could come back, medically was cleared. And I said, all right, I'm going to give you Ashton a few qualifiers. So I gave him 3 qualifiers and he broke 50 every qualifier, which is really impressive. Because Ashton that's under his average from last year, and without the, coming back from that injury and shooting like that, it was really good. And he got to start in some matches, which was a bonus for the team. We weren't expecting Ashton to be in the mix because of his injury, but he really came through. He got to play in some matches and won a couple too, and we still have a couple left that he'll hopefully win. So I'm really proud of him that he overcame that injury and did well. Another player that came up big that I think was a nice surprise was Logan, because Logan last year he played in maybe a couple scrimmages, but I did speak to Logan before the season started, and I said, Logan, listen, you have an opportunity. It's your last year on the team to start this year, but you need to be a little more consistent. What are your goals? How are you going to reach them? And we sat down and talked about it, and Mrs. Gay did with him too. And I got to hand it to Logan. Like, I felt like in the past, maybe some of the consistency and like focusing out in the course, I feel like this year was so much better. Like playing each hole and thinking about his shots or what he was doing wrong, his aiming, some things that we discussed. I'm proud of Logan that he took that in and he got better, and he played all the way up to the 4th spot sometimes. Started for us all year, and his record is 4-3-1, I think, right? Yeah. So he's got a winning record. First year starting on the team as a senior, he did really well. So I'm really proud of Logan. Another young player on our team that we're going to need next year is Seth. And Seth improved his average. Now on a golf average, if you improve by even just one shot, especially when you start getting in the 40s, if you want to shoot like if you have a 43 average, I tell the kids, well, they'll say I want to break 40. I'm like, well, that's 5 shots. It's really hard to cut even 2 shots or 1 off your average. And Seth ended up cutting off, I think it was 4 shots off his average, from 3.5 to almost 4 shots off his average from last year. And now he's shooting like 45 or under most matches he plays. Every once in a while he still goes over 45, but his average now is which his preseason goal was to shoot a 45 average or better, which he achieved that goal, which I thought was awesome. He's right a little under a 45 for his match average. He really gained a ton of distance, and he has been pretty good at his short game, but he keeps working at that. So he beats a lot of players with his game around the green. And he's a good example, you 7th graders, like Seth was on the team, just a couple years ago, and I think I was saying the same kind of thing, like Seth, work on your short game and you'll get your distance down the road. Well, now Seth is hitting the ball just about as far as everybody else, and he's got that short game that he worked on when he was in 7th and 8th grade, and now he's got the total game. And he's not going to be just a good player on our team next year, but he's going to be like one of the top. I'm going to put him. I think he's going to be one of the top like 15 kids in the league next year. That's my prediction. So. No pressure, Seth, with that prediction. But yeah, good job, Seth. And then his big brother Max, they had some competitions, but Max actually did beat his brother quite a bit this year, I gotta say. But even though Seth did well, Max brought his A game this year, as they would say. Max has been killing it. He's been shooting, he's gone from a scoring average, I checked, from a 46 to a 41 average this year. That is unbelievable. Wow. That's really good. Wow. And he has an undefeated record as of right now, 8-0 as a starter. So he's one of our captains. He's Carter and Max are the captains. He's been a good leader in school. Like if I need something, I can tell Max, like, hey, can you do this or do that? Can you get the vans, or he's been driving to some of the matches because we don't have, transportation. And just leading by his play, by winning all those points for the team and improving like he's improved. That's an example in itself. He has, I would say, one of the biggest things, and I think this is why his score has gone down, is I think he manages his emotions on the course better. He's not getting so frustrated over a bad shot. He moves on, and I know that's something I've had to work on as a golfer. We all do, and I think Max has gotten better at, hey, okay, I hit a bad one, but I'm going to move on to the next one. I mean, you don't have a 41 scoring average unless because you're obviously still hitting some bad shots, but you're moving on, and you're still shooting a good score at the end of the 9 holes. So I think Max has gotten really good, and that's a sign of being a good captain, is just by your demeanor and how you set an example for the other players. So good job, Max. Proud of you. Alright, and then another senior and our other captain is Carter. And Carter played a lot last summer, even though he doesn't, love tournament golf like some of them, like his brother. His brother and I would drag him to tournaments last summer, and he actually, I think, really got a lot out of it. He played against some good players in the Canton Tour and you know, in the Potsdam area, and I think it really helped him. And it was a good experience to play all those different courses. He's gone through a rough patch lately, but I'm proud of him the way he's worked through it. Instead of being like, you know, just not, I'm going to quit this. He's working through it, and he's getting better. And I think golf can knock you down hard. Like, it can be very frustrating, and it does make you feel like sometimes I just want to quit this game. It's too difficult. And Carter last week was kind of going through a patch like that, but he just kept hitting range balls, and he's still working through it. And he played better yesterday and the day before, so I think he's worked his way out of it, and I'm proud of him for that. He's got a 6-2 record this year, which is the best, second best win total, I think, at this point on the team. And along with Max, I like the way you guys have led this year. Like, it's not, like, sometimes it's not all like you have to yell at the kid. It's not that. It's just you guys act right in school. You have good grades, and that's why I wanted you guys to be captains. And the other kids look up to you by the way you act on the course and the way you act at school. So, good job. You guys did great. Okay, I swear I don't have much longer, but it's a big team, and I just don't want to forget kids and stuff. I want to talk about everybody, so I am almost done though. And then I got to talk about Kevin, who played in the #1 spot, which, when you're in the #1 spot, you are playing the 8 best golfers in the league. So it's tough. It's not easy to be in the 1 spot. The kids joke that they don't really want to be in the 1 spot because you are always playing the best player every single time. And Kevin has a winning record playing in that tough spot. He has lowered his average, which he's getting to the point where it's very tough to lower your average. He had a 42 last year, which was very good. He's down to a 40, and his goal, preseason goal, is to break 40 for average, and he has 2 matches left. He can still do it. He's had a 37, 2 37s, and a 38 in a match. So if he can shoot a couple more 30s, he might hit that preseason goal of having a 39 something average, which is, I haven't had many players in all my years of coaching that average in the 30s. So that's impressive. But I say this a lot to the kids. And I just said it at the beginning. Kevin is an example of, I mean, you guys see it. We all get in our cars and leave, and Kevin is on the 9th hole or on the 18th hole, and he'll sometimes text me later that night, or he has a video of him chipping, and he's still chipping, and it's dark. Okay? I can't make any of you be like that, but it's like, it's not a magic pill. Kevin just is here all the time. He practices. And he beats kids because the other kids don't put the hours in. It really gets to a point where if you want to compete, it's like you're doing the things when nobody's looking. You're putting in the minutes and the hours when the other kids are on their phone in the house. Okay? So while Kevin's in here at almost dark hitting balls, you know, the other kids are on their phone, you know, texting and stuff. And that's okay if that's your, but if you want to, you know, get to where Kevin's at, it's not like he just, you know, just happened. Okay? He's worked his butt off to get there, and I think, you know, it's great to see. He deserves what's good. To our seniors, just, you know, real quickly, it's hard to sum it up because I've known you guys all since, well, before. Some of you had coached in soccer when you were like 5 to 12 years old, okay? Yeah, so Carter, Max, Logan, Ashton, Colton, Nathan, and Evan. It's bittersweet. I know people say that a lot, and it's kind of cliche, but it's awesome because I'm glad of where you're at, but it's going to be hard when you guys are gone. It's like Josh is here, and I'm glad he's back. It was hard with Josh. It was hard not having Josh in the bus with us, right? So it's going to be really weird. It's going to be really weird not having you in the bus trips and going in the van, you know, going to McDonald's after. We're going to miss you guys, but you're always welcome. That's, you know, I told Josh that. And all you guys, whenever you want to come back, when you're back from college or whatever, you can text me and just show up, because, you know, once you're part of this team, you're always a part of this team. So you're always welcome back. But you've done a lot for the golf program. I think you've been a good example. I think I can remember when you guys were at, you know, like those 7th graders, like the group of guys. It doesn't seem like that long ago. You were the 7th graders, and I was going, geez, I hope you guys stick with golf. And now you're all, you know, shooting 40s, which is hard to do. You're winning matches. You know, you're doing a great job. So I'm really proud of you. And we're all, Mrs. Gay and I are going to miss you a lot. So we're talking about 40s and shooting 30s and stuff like that, okay? And just to put it in perspective how cool it is what these kids are doing. I looked up some stats on this, and it says that according to statistics, only about half of all golfers, including adults, so this is all golfers, okay, can shoot in the 40s. And I have a lot of friends that play golf, and whew, they cannot even, they can't even break 50, okay? So these kids at, 12, 13, 15, 16 are doing things that a lot of adults can't even, they've been playing golf their whole life and they can't figure it out. So, and to shoot in the 30s, like Max has shot in the 30s once in a match, Kevin has done it a couple times. It says only 5% of golfers are, and this is including all golfers, adults too, can achieve that feat. Only 5% of golfers can shoot in the 30s, and there's 2 of them on our team sitting in this room. Okay, that's a pretty cool accomplishment, especially since we play in, the weather we play in, and the cold and the rain and everything else. That puts it in perspective even more. So what you guys are doing is a life skill, and it's really awesome. There's a lot of people, when you get a job and you network and you go golfing and stuff, you're going to be one of the better ones than a lot of the people you're going to play with. Okay, will there be some people that can beat you? Yeah, but you're going to be probably better at golf than a lot of people that you're going to meet. And that's a pretty awesome thing that'll go past this golf team. Okay, so we are sitting at 5-3. We got 2 matches left. I think we're going to win those 2, so hopefully we end up at 7-3, and then which would be an excellent season. And the 3 matches we lost were all very, very close. I think Ashton lost by one shot, and Seth lost by 2 in one of those matches. So all 3 matches could have kind of gone either way, except for maybe Peru. They were tough. But let me just get to the awards, okay? So I have most improved on the season. So this is for the whole year. This was hard because Max went down on a lot of strokes. Seth, you improved a lot. I already mentioned that kind of. Carter, you went your average. Logan. But I had to give it to Ashton because of, not give it to him, but I feel like Ashton earned it because of the injury. So, coming back from injury and playing as well as you did, that was pretty cool. So Ashton definitely deserves most improved. So for most dedicated award, we do this. For all of you guys, for the new kids on the team, you don't know this, but actually we can start tomorrow if you want, because it's now off season for some of you. Every time you play 9 holes, okay, I want you to text me your scorecard. Okay, and I have an app on my phone, and I will not forget. Every time I get a lot of texts, and I love it. I love to see what you're shooting all summer. I will keep track of every single round of every kid in this room on my app, and whoever has the most rounds, like today, I was going to get something special from me, like some top-of-the-line golf balls, or a golf bag, or hat, or maybe both. I don't know, something, just to recognize you played the most golf out of anybody on the team. So, out of our team from 2024, Max was second with 60 rounds of 9 holes. So he played 540 holes of golf last summer, which is the best you ever did, so that's good. So Kevin Castine had 81 rounds of 9 holes, or 729 holes of golf. Wow. Just see me at school tomorrow. Okay?
He works here.
So that does help, right? So I do, and then best scoring average on the team is Kevin with a 40 scoring average, and I think he's top 10 in the league for scoring average. I think he's probably like 5 or 6 at this point in the whole league. Then most valuable player. I usually think the kid who gets the most points for the team deserves most valuable player, and by far, with Max Rabideau at all his matches he's won, so he's won every point he could win for our team. Our captain, and with the average of 41, Max got the MVP. So you guys are working to get a plaque, and Mr. Supernova is working on a plaque for you guys, and I'll get it to you when it's done. Okay? So I just want to sum up, okay? That's not a coincidence, right? That our MVP and our best average on the team are #1 players. So our top 2 players on the team. What did you notice there?
They practice.
They played the most holes of golf on our team. Those 2 people in this room, okay, played the most golf last summer. Okay? So they went. That's a connection there, guys, that you have to make. And if you haven't made that yet, you need to make that connection because I know you all want to be good at golf. You all tell me you want to be, but wanting and doing are two separate things. So, you know, like I can't track you down. I didn't tell Max, well, I mean, yes, I encourage you guys to go out, but I didn't force Max to go golfing every day last year, or every other day. And I didn't tell Kevin to go golfing every day. They did it on their own. That's what you need to, that's where you guys need to be at. Your mom and dad shouldn't be forcing you to play. You should just be like, Mom and Dad, I want to go golfing. Okay? And like I said, there's no excuses. Go play. You all have memberships, so get out there. There's a couple opportunities this coming summer that I'll remind you of when they get closer, but we have our golf tournament that's for the team. I mentioned that's on July 20th. Okay? There's every week I'm going to meet with you guys. I'll send you a text. It'll be probably a Wednesday or Thursday night. I don't know right now, but I'll text you all a reminder. But we'll get together like at night, maybe around 5 or 6, play some holes, maybe scramble like we did today. Just have some fun and play golf together. There's going to be a couple junior camps that you can sign up for. That I think the golf course publicizes that I'll be involved with. And then there's the tour in Potsdam. That's a little trickier because you got to get rides there and that's not close. But I can give you more information on that if you're interested. Carter did that last year. Kevin did it last year. And it's a really fun league, but it is in Canton, so that's the tricky part. There's also a tournament that I run in, it's at the end of August, right before school starts. Yeah, a couple weeks before school starts. It's called the Ron Roberts Memorial Junior Golf Tournament. And a lot of you guys have played in that already. Some of you missed it, so try to play in that this year. It's just we play 18 holes from different tees, depending on your age. And then there's some really great prizes and there's food and stuff. It's really fun. So I'd like to see most of my team there at that Ron Roberts tournament, okay? So that's all on my part, but before you leave, Carter and Max, my two captains, want to just say a couple quick things.
Before we start, I just want to say I had no clue I was doing this speech until about 5th period, so that's all Carter's fault, so my bad. First off, we want to thank all of you for being here, teammates, families, and the people who have supported the team and who helped make this dinner possible. We're speaking on behalf of the seniors on our golf team tonight. Being a part of this team has been more than just trying to get pars and birdies. For Colin and Logan, doubles and triples. It's been practice, school van trips, and of course McDonald's stops. Especially the one in Plattsburgh when Ashton and Logan got banned from that McDonald's. So that was fun. It's been fun understanding the game of golf and how the sport will follow you for the rest of your life. To the underclassmen, we want to say continue to stick with golf and fix your divots. That includes Kevin. We're not drawing. No, you just draw stuff in them. Anyway, we have a few people to thank tonight. First, thank you to Coach Trombley for taking time out of your day to come coach us. We know that you couldn't make it all the time, but we appreciate you wanting to help us get better.
Also, a big thank you to Coach Gay for all her hard work as the assistant coach. She does a lot of work with the younger kids and the newer kids on the team right at the beginning, and does a lot of business behind the scenes. You are the one who keeps this team stable, I would say. And for this reason, the team is lucky to have you. So thank you, Coach Gay, and make sure you guys are aware of how lucky you are to have Coach Gay. And also, be careful what you're drawing on your golf balls. Last but not least, Dad, I'm sorry I'm going to get a little personal here, but Dad, I know sometimes it wasn't easy coaching your own kid, and I'm sure there were days where you wish there was a penalty for eye rolls. But, despite that, you've been a steady supporter and recognition of a good coach. You've taught us more than just a game of golf. You've taught us all patience and how to bounce back after a bad round. And that good attitude is one of the most important things. So, Matt got his wins, and I have to say it, but even though that one time against Lake Placid for the league title, I'm pretty mad at you. I see what you mean by every stroke count. I got you, dude, don't worry. So yeah, motivated us all to be better athletes, even on the days where we didn't feel confident in ourselves. And we know we speak for every senior and probably the whole team when I say thank you for being our coach, and in this case, my dad's in St. Lawrence, so thank you. Thank you.
unless Ashton wants to talk. I do not want Colton and Logan coming up here.
No. No.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you.
I'm ready.